By the way, the only reason he says no right now is because he's terrified of being vulnerable.
Okay.
So the audience is going, dude, what are you doing? She's perfect. Like, there's nothing holding you back. Like,
Right.
And in the end of the movie, of course, he talks to his therapist, and his therapist is like, go for it. And then at the end of the movie, you see him driving to California.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
and so it's kind of a happy ending, even though you guys break up right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with the end of the scene when he's like, I don't love you.
Yeah.
He does.
Right.
He's just scared. You know, and so that's why I think in the very beginning of the movie, in the very beginning of the scene, I think it has to be very positive, like almost like the emotion of anticipation. Like I can't wait to tell you that I'm ready to ask you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, what would that objective and emotion be for you? Like, if you were like about to see somebody open a Christmas present, like it's like anticipation. Like, I can't wait to see, right? And what is that objective? Is it almost like to stay calm because you're so excited?
Yeah, like keep it together.
Yeah. So that's what I would use in the beginning, like anticipation and to keep it together. And that way, it's going to be a lot more tragic and, of course, interesting for the audience to watch, to see you fall from such a high place.
Right, and then it's just like
you can't
shoot down.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think in the beginning you need to start the scene with hope and optimism, and it's like
I did have hope written down.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the vibe. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So anticipation, or you know, if you want to use hope, that's great. I mean, to me, anticipation is a little bit more self-assured that this is going to work out instead of I hope it's going to work.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So where is it going to change?
I think it changes when he's like, you know, you wish you had to take back. And I'm just kind of like, wait a minute, take back. Like I don't.
So here's what I would suggest you do. You have a long scene.
Yeah.
So my thought would be, don't change it yet.
Okay.
You know, in other words, keep that side of you that's like, he's just confused.
Yeah, take back. No, I don't want to.
Yeah, you just fine. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. And he just doesn't understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
And as soon as he actually hears what I have to say, of course he's gonna want to come to California with me. In other words, don't give the ending of the scene away.
Just okay.
Does that make sense? So I would stick with anticipation and to keep it together with this sense of like it's gonna be fine until it becomes clear.
But
So you could do one of two things. You could say that, you know how sometimes when people will say, look, if you don't want to go with me tonight, just don't go.
fine, just tell me you wanna go.
But you know that they're going to say, I want to go, right? So that way, you could make an argument that you stay with the anticipation because there's no way in hell he's not going to come with you. He just needs a little nudge.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you can have that sort of flavor of being a little bit nervous about the question, but it can still be, yeah, he's coming.
Yeah.
So still anticipation.
Okay.
Still to keep it together until finally. Then what are you afraid? What do you mean? So what he says, when he says you're the one that's afraid, you just want to have your little fling with the guy from the other side. So basically, I know you don't know the film, but he comes kind of from a poor.
Okay.
And you don't.
Right.
And so he's basically saying you just want to hang out with like the poor guy because he's like the rebel.
Yeah.
But you're going to end up with the guy from Stanford.
Right.
Like just admit it.
Yeah.
So when he says that I think
throws me for
it's just
like,
unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think a good emotion would be when he says that to you? Throw out a couple of options to you, like disbelief.
Disbelief.
Shock.
Shock, for sure.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, shock.
I think shock. Yeah.
Fine.
Disbelief.
So good.
Yeah.
Shock or disbelief. And I think this is when your objective is going to change. A or B, you would need to redefine what you're attempting to get with your objective. In other words, if my objective changes, it would change to something like to make sense of this. Or you can still have to keep it together.
Okay.
It's just that I'm trying to keep it together as I'm filled with shock.
Yeah.